Om Gyantimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verses 37 and 38. Yadyapi ete na pashyanti lobha upahat chetasaha kul kshaya kritam dosham mitra drohe chapatakam कथम न ज्ञेयम अस्माभि पापात अस्मान निवर्तितुम कुलक्षय कृतम दोषम प्रपश्यद्भि जनार्दना. O Janardan, the intelligence of Duryodhan and others has been polluted by greed to attain the kingdom. Thus, they are unable to see the faults that arise from destroying the dynasty or the sin incurred by betraying their friends. But since we are in knowledge of these faults, why do we not consider the situation and refrain from such improper acts? So here Arjun brings up a very pertinent question. He is saying that if the opposing party is acting irresponsibly, if the opposing party is foolish and arrogantly committing gross mistakes, should we reciprocate in the same foolishness? Should we also reciprocate arrogantly? Or should we display maturity and consider the results of this battle? In our life also, we face the same situation. If someone hits you, our general reaction is to hit back equally with the same force or more force. If someone says some insulting words to you, again the normal tendency is to get back to that person with even more insulting words. But is this really sign of maturity, or is this sign of childishness? Someone who is intelligent will very carefully reflect upon the results of each of his actions, words, and as well as thoughts, and will conduct himself in a very responsible manner in each and every situation. Many times when you are interacting with your friends, colleagues, people in the family, people in society, at workplace, you have such situations where the other person is probably not acting in a very responsible fashion, and we tend to act in exactly the same way. But someone who has fixed intelligence, someone who is thoughtful of the outcome of arrogant reactions, will not react to words or acts of people who are not very intelligent. So here Arjun is also saying that the intelligence of Duryodhan and others has been polluted by what? by greed to attain the kingdom. When one's intelligence is overcome by lust and greed, a person loses his ability to think properly. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives a beautiful analysis of when a person loses his discriminating power, what is the reason for that? He says, Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha Sangaha Teshu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodha Abhijayate. Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha, that when contemplating the objects of the senses, Sangaha Teshu Upajayate, a person develops attachment for them. And when that attachment develops, Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha, and from such attachment, lust develops. And then what happens? Kamat Krodha Vijayate, and from lust, anger arises. When you're thinking of something, you want to get that, you feel attached to it, and if you're not able to get that object, then you become angry. And then when anger arises, what happens? Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhranshat buddhi nashah, buddhi nashat pranashyati. From anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. And then smriti bhramat buddhi nashah, when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, what happens? Buddhi nashat pranashyati. When intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material world. Everything gets destroyed. So, this is the situation of the Kauravas. They were so attached to the kingdom that in their pursuit to get that kingdom by hook or crook, they had become so deluded, their memory is bewildered, and they had lost their intelligence. So they are on the path of complete destruction. But here now Arjun is questioning that we know that what the Kauravas are doing, what Duryodhan and his other brothers are doing out of greed for the kingdom, and what this is going to lead to. It's going to lead to the destruction of our entire dynasty. And they are not able to understand that this will result in so much sin. It is sinful to kill anyone, but to kill your own people, to betray your own friends, to take the life of your own relatives is the most sinful thing. Shri Gurudev quotes in the commentary that scriptures forbid turning against such person. Which persons? Ritvik Purohit Acharya, Matul Atithi Sanshriteh Bal Vidur Atuhr Vaidyah Gyati Sambandhi Bandhvahi. You should not quarrel with one who performs sacrifice on your behalf. A family priest. So people who are Brahmins, people who are in the priestly class, who perform rituals for you, who perform sacrifices for you, you should never fight with them. Then you should never fight with a teacher. You should never fight with a maternal uncle or any relative for that matter. You should never fight with a guest. You should never fight with those who are dependent on you, like young children, the elderly, your family members, relatives. So this is the instruction of the scriptures. These are the people to be protected by us. So Arjun is saying that I understand these instructions of the scriptures, then why should I engage, or why should we engage in such a ghastly act of warfare which will lead to the destruction of our entire dynasty? Shri Gurudev explains further in the commentary that Arjun is contemplating that why are my cousins determined to fight with us? And he concludes that they have become overpowered by their petty selfish interests. They have thus lost their ability to discriminate between what is beneficial and what is not beneficial, between religion and irreligion. As a result, they have forgotten the sinful reactions that are incurred by destroying one's own dynasty. We have no such selfish motive, so why should we engage in such an abominable and sinful act? This is what Arjun is thinking and asking from Sri Krishna. Actually, the scriptures instruct us to see everyone as our own self, to see the Lord, the Paramatma, in each and every living entity, to give proper respect to each and every person. Krishna will also tell Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita many places, Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu, that see everyone as your own self. Do not discriminate between anyone. In Ishopanishad, which is one of the most prominent Upanishads, also it is said, Yahatu sarvani bhutani atmani eva anupashyati sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam tato naha vigyupaste. He who sees systematically everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities as his, as the Lord's parts and parcel, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being, whether it's animate or inanimate. When one develops this vision that everything is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, everything in this world has a relationship with the Supreme Lord, then he does not hate anything, whether it's animate or inanimate. This is actually the symptom of the highest level of a devotee who's called an Uttam Adhikari. When we are in the initial stages of spiritual development, one sees the Lord to be only present at the place of worship and nowhere else. Shri Swami Maharaj explains in the purport to this verse in Ishopanishad, and such a person is not able to see the Lord and his energies moving the world. He actually is not able to give proper respect to devotees, what to talk of others. That's the lowest level of realization, where one thinks, oh, the Lord only resides in the temple, only in this deity form, but he does not see the Lord in each and every living entity. The second stage of realization is called Madhyam Adhikari. Such a person is able to distinguish between the Lord, the devotees of the Lord, those who are innocent and atheists, and is able to interact with them appropriately. But he still is not able to see the Lord in each and every living entity. But one who is an Uttamadhikari, or in the highest stage of realization, sees everything in relation to the Lord. As Krishna also says in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Cha Ev Shwapake Cha Panditaha Samdarshinaha, that someone who is intelligent, someone who has realized by the virtue of his true knowledge, such an exalted devotee sees everyone with an equal vision, whether it's a learned, gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and even an outcast like a dog eater. He sees everyone with the same equal vision. So Arjuna is saying that someone who is intelligent should exhibit, someone who understands what the conclusion of the scriptures is, should certainly act in a very mature and responsible way and exhibit this quality of treating everyone with proper love and respect and honor, and not try to react and not try to get back to someone just because that other person is foolishly saying bad things to you or trying to do some harm to you. He again calls Krishna here as Janardhan. Janardhan, as we discussed before, means the refuge of all the living entities, the protector of all the living entities. So he's saying, the Lord, you are the protector of everyone. under your authority, in your presence, these people should not get killed because you are everyone's protector. So the main thing that we have understood in this verse is where Arjun is arguing that a person who is knowledgeable should act responsibly. If an ignorant man commits some wrong things, he will get some reaction. But our scripture says that if a wise man who knows what is right and wrong commits the same mistake, he will get more reaction because he is supposed to act responsibly. Ignorance and arrogance never lead to peace and prosperity in society. It's not the foolish who shape the destiny of society. It's the wise men who by their mature thoughts, words and actions show the proper path. And Arjun is thinking that the proper path is, the proper thing to do is not to fight. That we should not be known as the destroyers but as the saviors. According to him, this is what a Pandit is. But Krishna will tell him differently, which we will come to when we get to chapter number 2. We'll continue next time. Till that time, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Have a very blessed day.
Krishna Krishna